Hello everybody, today we'll be looking at a diagram taken from Cambridge IELTS 8, page 78. Let's look at these diagram task in detail. The diagrams below show the stages and equipment used in the cement making process and how cement is used to produce concrete for building purposes. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So here we have cement production and concrete production, okay, and we need to describe this diagram in detail. Now let's look at how we can do it. The two diagrams show how both cement and concrete are produced for the building industry, both of which require several stages. So as we have two diagrams, you must mention two diagrams, but also remember that you must include the definite article the. So the two diagrams, because we know what kind of diagrams we're talking about. And then show how both cement and concrete are produced for. I'm using the passive voice here. Okay, and then explain exactly what they are used for, and then comma, then both of which require, and then several stages. Okay, so put this in your description, okay, because each diagram includes several stages and each stage should be described in detail. Next, apparently a mixture of several ingredients is required during certain stages. So when you are talking about a general picture, you can use the word apparently, which means obviously, clearly. Okay. Next, during the initial stage, limestone and clay are crushed to a powder form before being fed into a mixture and sent to a rotating heater. So during the initial stage, in this case, initial means first, during the first stage. And here I'm using the passive voice, are crushed, and then before being fed into, again, I'm using the passive voice, and then sent. Okay, next. Following this, the mixture is ground prior to being placed in bags ready for distribution. So the expression following this means after this. Again, I'm using the passive voice, is ground, and then prior to. The phrase prior to means before. And after this, make sure to use the verb with ing before being placed. In this case, placed means put. Next, turning to the concrete production stage. Actually, it can be a new paragraph. Turning to the concrete production stage, cement is poured into a concrete mixer along with water, sand, and gravel in the following ratios: 15%, 10%, 25%, and 50% respectively. Now, we need to use the phrase turning to when you want to talk about the second diagram, the second illustration that you have. So the idea is you have already stopped describing the first stage. Now you are going to talk about the second stage, and in order to make this transition, use the phrase turning to. And also make sure to use the definite article the before the word stage. So the plus the name of the stage and then the word stage. Again, I'm using the passive voice here, is poured. Okay, and use this phrase in the following ratios. In this case, ratios basically means proportions. Okay, and then we have several ingredients here. So water would be 15%, sand would be 10%, and gravel would be 25%. Okay. Sorry. Concrete would be 15%. And then water 10%, sand 25%, and gravel 50%. And that's why we need to use the word respectively here. Next, as soon as all of the components mentioned above have been put into the mixer, It is made to revolve in order to mix all the ingredients thoroughly. Use this phrase as soon as or once. And then all of the components mentioned above have been put. I'm using the present perfect plus the passive voice have been put. Again, I'm using the passive voice is made. Next, this ends the entire process of concrete production, which can subsequently be poured from the mixer for further use as construction material. So try to remember this phrase. This ends the entire process of. Okay, not finishes, but this ends. And try to use the phrase like the entire process. Next, which can subsequently be poured. In this case, subsequently basically means after or later be poured. All right, and that's the end of this description. I hope you have learned how to describe a diagram, what kind of features to focus on, and what kind of language to use in order to make transitions and connect your ideas. Good luck with your IELTS examination.